You can't force somebody to love you. The foundation of all foundations is to know that there is a creator of the world who is completely not within the constraints of physicality. He transcends everything. He is not bound to time or to space or to any physical limitation that we can impose upon him. And yet, he is deeply personally invested with this world, and he maintains it. And this world exists only because he wills it. This creator is beyond any grasp of the human mind. His essence is completely unknowable to us. As Psalm 45 verse 3 says, Hashem is great and exceedingly lauded, and his greatness is beyond investigation. And yet, at the same time, we are to know God. Ata harais ladas ki Hashem hu Elokim. In order to understand this, we have to understand how the Hebrew scriptures work. We have to demystify this. We have to get into the language of Tanakh and begin to understand what Tanakh is and what it's supposed to teach us. So the first rule that I want to teach you in getting to know God is that, number one, the Torah speaks in the language of man. God desired to be in a relationship with us. So he created a world that is very physical, very finite. And in fact, this world conceals godliness. God did this because he wanted to give us free choice. We have to have the balance between good and evil. Choose which way you're going to go. Do you want God, or God forbid, you want to get away from God? It's your choice. You can't force somebody to love you. So God created a physical world with concealments. And in fact, the word olam, world, shares the same letters as the word helam, concealment. This is a world in which godliness is not readily apparent, but through effort, we can still get to know God. God created certain tools inside of this world for us to connect to him. Let me give you an example. Let me make it more relatable. If there's a person that you really respect, somebody who you really want to get to know, what are you going to do? First off, you're going to observe him. You're going to see the way he interacts with the world. You're going to observe whatever you can see. You're going to see his language. You're going to see the impact that he leaves upon the world. You're going to see his movements, his mannerisms. You're going to develop a perception of him. But that perception is going to be limited. It's going to be limited by your physicality, by what you are capable of observing. Now, if you want to get to know this person on a deeper level, you're going to want to connect with his mind. You're going to want to get inside of his thoughts. What are you thinking? I want to know you. I want to know what you care about. Now, if this person reciprocates, if this person wants to be in a relationship with you, he's going to write you a letter, for instance. And inside that letter, he's going to tell you everything that's important to him. He's going to share with you his thoughts. He's going to say, these are the things I love. These are the things I hate. This is how you can get close to me. And that's exactly what God did for us. We can observe his interaction in this world. We can observe the things that our physical eyes allow us to see. But we can also get to know God on a very deeply personal level by reading his Torah, by seeing what's important to him. God tells us very clearly inside of his Torah, these are the things I love. These are the things I hate. You can have a real intimate relationship with me by making the things that matter to me important to you. For the Jewish people, that's 613 commandments. For the non-Jewish people, there's 7 commandments. And by holding these precious to us, we develop a relationship with God. Even if we don't understand them. You know, it's kind of like a husband who brings home flowers to his wife if he knows that flowers are important to her. He might not get it. He might say, what are flowers? Like, what's the big deal? But if it's important to her, he just formed a bond with her. Now, because the Torah speaks in the language of man, it uses allegories. And one of these frequent allegories is it speaks of our relationship with God similar to a marriage. Now, if you look at marriage, there are 2 vital components. There's the connecting on a mind level, the I get you, right? The I understand you as much as I can. But then there's also the physical component, which is also very important. And the same is true with our relationship with God. We can connect with the mind of God. We can study his Torah. But he also wants us to be engaged in certain physical actions. He wants us to go out and to do things that are very physical in nature. He wants us to do the commandments that he gave us. And through these 2 components, through studying his Torah and through engaging in the physical actions that he loves, we come close to him. We develop a bond. We get to know him. But here's the thing. just like in any relationship, even if you have a fantastic bond, there's still going to remain a level of mystery. There's still going to be something about that person's essence that you will never grasp. There's always going to be something unknowable. So even as much as we know God, there's still going to be a higher level. There's going to be something that we can never grasp. It is such a beautiful, wonderful thing that God gave us the ability to come close to him, to get to know him on our level. Now, because the Torah speaks in the language of man, there is a certain vulnerability. There is the chance for people who don't understand the language of Tanakh to come and take things out of context and to actually apply physical definitions to God. So what I want to do is I want to unlock the language of Tanakh for you. I want to go on a deep dive. I want to help you understand who God really is. Examine the verses in context. Examine verses that seem to contradict each other. Really get down, dig deep, and understand what the Tanakh is trying to teach you. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be a little philosophical. And I pray that we have siyata d'shmaya, that we have the help from heaven, that I can make these complex topics very graspable for you so that you too can have a deep and intimate relationship with your Creator. So stay tuned and let's keep learning.